Welcome to Natural English Talk.
Hello and welcome to the Natural English Talk podcast. I'm Anna.
And I'm Jake. It's good to be here today, just sitting down for a quiet conversation.
I was thinking this morning about that specific moment right after the alarm goes off. You haven't even put your feet on the floor yet, but you reach for your phone.
I know exactly what you mean. It's almost a reflex now. You're still half asleep, but you're already scrolling through what everyone else is doing.
Exactly. And within 2 minutes, you see someone who has already been to the gym, or someone sharing a big career win, or even just a friend who seems to have their whole life organized.
It's a strange way to start the day, isn't it? Before I've even had a glass of water, I'm already measuring my life against a highlight reel of someone else's morning.
It creates this immediate friction. That inner voice starts whispering that you're already behind. You haven't even started your day, but you feel like you're losing a race you didn't know you were in.
I felt that this morning, actually. I saw a post from an old colleague who just finished a massive project. My first thought wasn't good for him. It was, what have I done lately?
It's so easy to let that happen. We forget that our own effort, the quiet, slow work we do, still counts even if it isn't ready to be shared or celebrated yet.
But when you're looking at a screen, that quiet effort feels invisible. It feels like if it isn't visible and fast, it isn't actually progress.
And that's the trap. We start questioning our own pace because we see someone else moving at a different speed. We wonder if we're doing enough.
I think that's why I find it so hard to get out of bed some days. The weight of that comparison makes the simple act of starting my own routine feel heavy.
Because you're trying to start your day while carrying the pressure of someone else's success. It's a lot to ask of yourself before breakfast.
It really is. It's like the day is already graded before it's even begun. That feeling of being behind follows me into the office too. I was in a team meeting yesterday where everyone was giving their weekly updates.
Those updates can be tricky. On the surface, it's just sharing information, but it often feels like a competition.
Exactly. One colleague talked about closing a huge deal, and another mentioned they'd finished the certification I haven't even started yet. Instead of listening to what they were saying, I found myself mentally making a list.
A list of where you rank compared to them?
Yeah, it's like I was assigning points. They have 5 points for that win, and I'm sitting here at 0 because I've just been doing my regular everyday tasks.
It's exhausting to turn a collaborative space into a scoreboard. We stop hearing the value in what others are doing because we're too busy protecting our own sense of worth.
And the worst part is that my regular tasks are actually important. I've been improving my workflow and getting better at handling difficult clients, but that's not a win you announce in a meeting.
Right, those are internal shifts. They are deep, personal improvements that don't always have a flashy title or a percentage attached to them.
But when the room is full of people sharing visible results, those internal shifts feel almost non-existent. I felt this urge to make something up, or at least exaggerate a small task, just to feel like I belonged in the conversation.
It's that tension between quiet progress and the need for validation. We start to believe that if we can't measure it or show it to a group, it doesn't count as growth.
I stayed quiet though, but for the rest of the meeting, I wasn't really there. I was just stuck in that loop of comparing my Monday morning to their highlights.
It's hard to be present for others when you're being so incredibly hard on yourself. You end up missing the chance to actually learn from them or even celebrate them because you're too busy feeling smaller.
It definitely makes the afternoon feel much longer when you start telling yourself you're the least productive person in the room.
It's interesting how that feeling follows you. By the time it's mid-afternoon and you're deep into a project that's going to take months, the pace can start to feel almost painful.
I've been feeling that with the language I'm trying to learn. I've been practicing every day for 3 months, and some days it feels like I haven't moved an inch.
That middle phase is so difficult. The initial excitement of starting is gone, and the finish line is still miles away. You're just in it.
And then I'll see a video of someone who claims they learned the same language in 30 days. Suddenly, my 3 months of steady work feels like a failure.
It makes you doubt the rhythm you've set for yourself. You start asking, is my pace acceptable? Or why am I taking so much longer than everyone else?
Exactly. I find myself staring at my notes, thinking I should be doing more or doing it faster. I feel this rush to catch up to a speed that might not even be real.
We tend to value the fast progress because it's more dramatic, but there's a different kind of strength in just showing up on a Tuesday afternoon when you're tired and the progress feels invisible.
It's hard to remember that when you're in the thick of it. I almost closed my book today because I felt like I was just repeating the same mistakes. I felt like I was stuck in the mud while others were sprinting.
But staying in the mud is still being in the process. Sometimes the slow pace is exactly what allows the information or the skill to actually sink in and stay there.
I suppose a tree doesn't look like it's growing if you watch it for an hour. It's only when you look back after a year that you see the difference.
That's a good way to put it. But when you're the tree and you're just standing there in the afternoon sun, you just feel still.
Yeah, you feel still and you wonder if you're ever going to reach the height you imagined. It's a very quiet kind of doubt.
It is, and it's a doubt that grows when we look at the forest around us instead of just focusing on our own roots.
I had a coffee with a friend later that afternoon, and he told me he just got this incredible promotion he's been working toward for years.
That sounds like a moment where you want to be completely happy for them, but sometimes a little shadow creeps in.
Exactly. I mean, I truly like him. He's a great guy and he's worked hard. But as he was describing his new responsibilities and the travel he'll be doing, I felt this strange tightening in my chest.
It's that unsettled feeling. On the outside, you're smiling and saying congratulations, but on the inside, you're suddenly reevaluating your own life.
I felt so guilty about it. I was nodding and asking questions, but half of my brain was busy comparing our bank accounts and our job titles. I felt like his success was somehow highlighting my own lack of it.
It's a very human reaction, even if it's uncomfortable. We often treat progress like a single lane where only one person can be in front, but his success doesn't actually push you backward.
I know that logically, but when he started talking about his 5-year plan, I realized I don't even have a 5-day plan that I feel confident about right now. It made my own path feel aimless.
We tend to judge our behind the scenes by everyone else's greatest hits. You're comparing your internal doubts to his external achievement.
I just wish I could listen to a friend's good news without that filter of "what about me?" constantly running in the background. It makes it hard to be present in the friendship.
It takes a lot of practice to separate your worth from the news you hear from others. It's about learning to see their story as just that, their story. It's not a critique of yours.
It's hard though, especially when you're already feeling a bit fragile about your own progress. Every piece of good news from someone else feels like a reminder of what you haven't done yet.
And yet, your path has its own timing. A forest has some trees that grow tall very quickly, and others that take their time in the shade. They are all still part of the same forest.
I suppose I just need to get better at being a slow-growing tree without feeling like I'm failing at being a tree. By the time I finished dinner and sat down on the sofa, I found myself doing that thing we all do, just scrolling through my feed, not really looking for anything in particular.
The evening scroll. It's a hard habit to break, especially when the house is quiet and you're finally slowing down.
It's strange how it changes your mood. One minute I'm feeling okay about my day, and the next I'm looking at someone's perfect kitchen or their photos from a trip to Japan.
It's like a flood of different lives hitting you all at once. You see someone's career success, someone else's fitness journey, and another person's perfect family life.
And even though I know it's just a curated version of their reality, my brain starts to combine all of them into one perfect person that I'm supposed to be competing with.
That's such a good point. We don't just compare ourselves to one person, we compare ourselves to the collective best parts of everyone we follow.
Exactly. I saw a post from someone who just started a new business, and for a second, I felt inspired. I thought maybe I should start something. But that feeling lasted about 5 seconds before it turned into, why haven't I done that yet?
It blurs the line between inspiration and discouragement. It's hard to tell if you're looking for ideas or if you're just looking for reasons to feel like your own timeline is wrong.
I looked at my living room and suddenly it didn't feel cozy anymore. It just felt like a place where I was standing still while the rest of the world was moving forward into these big, exciting outcomes.
We forget that those photos are just the outcomes. We don't see the messy living rooms, the boring Tuesdays, or the months of doubt that happened before that one perfect shot was taken.
But when you're tired at the end of the day, that logic is hard to hold on to. You just see the gap between your Tuesday night and their highlight reel.
It makes our own progress feel so heavy and slow. We start to wonder if our daily routines are actually leading anywhere, or if we're just running in place.
It definitely makes it harder to feel satisfied with what you actually achieved during the day. It's like the scrolling just erases all the small wins I had earlier.
And then, when you're already in that headspace, even the smallest mistake late at night can feel like a disaster. I was making some tea around 9 p.m. and I knocked the jar of honey over. It was such a small, silly thing, but I just stood there looking at the mess.
I know that feeling. It's not just about the honey, is it? It's like that one little mess becomes proof of everything else you think is going wrong.
Exactly. My brain immediately went to, of course you did this. You're clumsy, you're tired, and you're not as organized as the people you were just looking at online. It felt like a heavy piece of evidence that I'm failing.
It's interesting how we reframe a simple accident into a personality flaw. If I forget to reply to a casual text late at night, I don't just think I forgot, I think I'm losing my grip on my responsibilities.
The tension is so high in those moments. You have to decide if you're going to see it as a normal part of being human, just a long day, or if you're going to use it as a reason to be even harder on yourself.
I usually choose the harder path. I'll sit there and replay the mistake, comparing my messy reality to the perceived perfect lives of others. It's like I'm looking for reasons to confirm that I'm falling behind.
But mistakes are actually a sign that you're doing things. You can't spill honey if you aren't making tea. You can't make a mistake at work if you aren't trying to finish a project. It's actually part of the movement, even if it feels like a step back.
That's a much kinder way to see it. But when you're tired, it's hard to be kind. You just want everything to be smooth and efficient, like a video you saw earlier in the day.
We expect ourselves to be machines that never glitch, but the glitches are where the real learning happens. That spill taught me I was moving too fast and needed to actually slow down and breathe.
I think I need to remember that. A mistake isn't a sign that I'm less than someone else. It's just a sign that I'm living my life, which is always going to...
When you finally turn off the light and the room goes dark, that's when the mental review usually starts for me. I lie there and think about everything I did during the day.
I do that too, but it's rarely a positive review. I tend to look at my small wins, like finally finishing a difficult email or spending 20 minutes reading, and I just dismiss them.
Why do you think we do that? We take a genuine effort and tell ourselves it's insignificant because it doesn't look like a mountain peak compared to someone else's achievements.
I think it's because those small things feel too ordinary. I'll think, okay, I went for a walk, but my neighbor just ran a half marathon. Suddenly, my walk feels like nothing. It feels like I'm celebrating something that doesn't deserve it.
It's that friction between acknowledging your own pace and feeling like that pace isn't impressive enough. We minimize the very things that are actually keeping us moving forward.
Exactly. I find myself thinking that if the progress isn't life-changing or visible to everyone else, it doesn't count. I minimize the effort it took just to show up and be consistent on a day when I was tired.
But consistency is actually the hardest part of any journey. It's much easier to have one big flashy moment than it is to keep doing the small, quiet work every single day without an audience.
I suppose I'm looking for a trophy every night, and when I don't find one, I feel like the day was a waste. I forget that the trophy is just the fact that I'm still here, still trying.
We're so quick to give others credit for their small steps, but we deny ourselves that same kindness. We treat our own growth like a checklist where only the biggest items matter.
It makes it very hard to fall asleep feeling peaceful. You're basically telling yourself that your best effort wasn't quite good enough because it didn't look like someone else's best effort.
It's a very heavy thought to carry into your dreams. It robs you of the rest you actually need to do it all again tomorrow.
I want to get better at just saying, I did what I could today, and that's plenty. Even if it was just a few small things, they still belong to me. Then the sun comes up again, and it's a new morning. I think that's the moment where the real choice happens. You're lying there, and you have to decide how you're going to look at the day ahead.
It's like a fresh page. You can either reach for the phone and start that cycle of comparison all over again, or you can try to keep your eyes on your own path for a while.
I've been trying to stay in that quiet space a bit longer lately. Instead of checking what everyone else has achieved, I ask myself, what would a good day look like for me today? Not for a coworker, not for a friend, just for me.
That shift in perspective is so powerful. It's choosing to define progress personally. Maybe progress today isn't a promotion or a big win. Maybe it's just staying focused for an hour or being patient with yourself when you make a mistake.
It's not that the comparison goes away completely. I still see the posts and I still hear the updates, but I'm trying to make that voice a bit quieter, like a radio playing in another room that I don't have to listen to.
I think that's the most realistic goal. We can't always stop the thoughts from appearing, but we can choose how much importance we give them. We can acknowledge that someone else is moving fast while still believing that our slow walk is just as valid.
It makes the morning feel much less like a race. I can just have my coffee, look at my own to-do list, and feel okay about where I am. It's a very quiet kind of freedom.
It really is, and it's a practice. Some days it's easy, and some days the comparison feels very loud again. But every time we choose to look inward, we're getting better at trusting our own timing.
I think I'll try to hold on to that feeling today. Just one step at a time at my own speed.
That's all we can really do. Well, I think that's a good place to stop for today. Thank you so much for listening to our conversation. I'm Anna.
And I'm Jake. We're glad you joined us for this episode of Natural English Talk. See you next time.